Te pare por como say? That means who that say gonna beat them Saints. Actually means let's get this started, all right? Y'all ready? Okay. We're gonna do some chicken roulade today, okay? It translates as roll. Basically gonna pound out some chicken breasts, make a nice stuffing, roll it with some bacon and bake in the oven, serve a little bit of lemon beurre blanc. On the recipe cards, we have the stuffing mix. We have the actual procedure to make the roulades themselves. It'll be a Creole seasoning mix that I want to give that to you guys every time so the people that haven't been here before can get that. So, and that's just a good Creole mix for really fish, seafood, chicken, whatever you want to use it for. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and get started, guys. As everything we saute, we want that pan to get nice and hot, okay? So we're going to give that time to heat up because, like I've said before, saute means to jump. So we want that pan so hot if we don't move that food, it'll burn, okay? All right, I'm going to go over the ingredients for the stuffing. We have some andouille sausage, 1 cup. We have some applewood smoked bacon, a little bit of Trinity, which is onion, celery, and bell pepper. I actually have the minced jalapeno in there also. We have some minced garlic, and then we have some mozzarella and some cheddar cheese, okay? The stuffing that we're going to do is a cornbread stuffing or cornbread dressing. There's so many different things you can go, so many different ways and avenues you can go with this stuffing and the roulade. We could add some crawfish or some shrimp to the stuffing as is. Just saute a little bit of shrimp and put it in there, dice it up, wrap it in the chicken. We can do some fresh basil and maybe some pancetta ham, some different stuff like that. So as usual, I try to make a recipe for you guys that y'all can go in a whole bunch of different ways with it, okay? So we're going to start with some extra virgin olive oil, which is just a saute, but also to add a little bit more fat to the stuffing because we don't want it to be too dry. We want it to add fat to the chicken or add flavor to the chicken instead of take the juice from the chicken and go into the stuffing. So we want to have enough moisture in that stuffing so we're not pulling the natural juices from the chicken, we're actually adding to them, okay? Which is actually called barding. When you take a dry piece of meat like a chicken breast and you put fat inside of it and it adds flavor to it. And then lording is when we're wrapping the bacon around it and we're adding fat on the outside also. Fat is a big time ingredient when I cook, okay? If y'all don't know that yet. Oh, yeah. All right, so we got our hot pan. We're gonna add our cup of andouille and our applewood smoked bacon. And we're gonna render that, which basically means we wanna take the liquid fat. You know when fat gets cold, it solidifies. So we want to heat that fat up and extract it from the bacon and the andouille. You know how you make, you fry your eggs or whatever in the bacon fat? Well, that bacon fat coming off that bacon, you basically rendered the fat from that bacon, okay? And actually, in any stuffing, fat is essential. So we'll just render that down. And as always, guys, if you have any questions throughout, just ask, okay? And I will answer to the best of my ability. All right, so let me tell you a little bit about the roulade. This would probably be on our menu if it wasn't such a pain in the butt to make. But it is a really good thing. It's one of those items that you can make and it makes you look really, really good. Because with that nice stuffing with all the flavor and juices, you know, a chicken breast you can get anywhere, and bacon on the outside that you can get, it just, you know, adds a lot of flavor to your dinner table. And this is definitely a recipe you could do at your house. All right, as you can see, some of that fat's coming out of there. I'm using the Teflon just so I won't have any problems. You can use a normal stainless steel pot or a pan, it really doesn't matter. I'm just using the Teflon so I'll look really good. All right, so we rendered some of that fat out. We want to add the Trinity, the jalapeno, which was in that Trinity, and the minced garlic. We don't have to wait for all the fat to be rendered out of it because we want to caramelize those vegetables really, really good because, as I've talked about before, caramelization is very, very essential. That's where we get the natural sugars out of those onions and bell peppers. Speaking of sugar, as you can see on the recipe, I said a box of Jiffy, and that's the corn muffin mix. The reason why I use that is because it'll neutralize some of the spiciness and some of the saltiness of all the stuff we're cooking in the pan, because it has a natural sweetness to it. Who uses Jiffy? Anybody use Jiffy? Yeah. Y'all smell it? Yeah. All right. Now a little kosher salt, a little cracked pepper, a little Creole seasoning in the mix. And once again, guys, you can deviate the recipe by making it really spicy, maybe add some sriracha, some cayenne, or different things like that. And also, you can replace the andouille with, like I said, pancetta, prosciutto, mortadella, something like that to make it more, rustic Italian. Add some fresh basil in there. Maybe do like more of a tomato-based sauce, change it up. In fact, the lemon butter, you can just add some, maybe like a can of crushed tomatoes to that lemon butter, reduce it down as normal, and then you'll have like a nice, really rustic Italian. Smells really good. Yeah, you smell the garlic? All right, so the chicken breast, it's really pretty open in terms of what you can use in terms of size. Excuse me. Because the roulade can turn out to be this big or this big, it really doesn't matter. And I'll show you guys a little bit of trick when pounding the chicken out. I use a Ziploc bag, and it helps to hold the chicken breast together a little bit when pounding it, so it doesn't, you don't want it to break up too much. I mean, if it has a little bit of holes in it, it's okay, but you don't want to tear the chicken breast, and sometimes they will. All right, guys, so I think this is good to go. Have our cornbread. But now you see all that goodness. I'm gonna stop using the word fat. I think it scares people. I'm gonna say goodness from now on, okay? You see all that goodness down there? Okay, yeah, exactly, flavor. All right, we're just gonna put that in the cornbread. This right here is what we stuff in our pork chops that's on the menu. The Marble Farms pork chop, this is it right here. So for this recipe here, we add a little bit of cheese to it, but this basically is the stuffing for our pork chops. So I just gave you our secret. This show costs a little bit more, just to let y'all know. All right. So again, the cheese will add a little bit of goodness to it also when it melts. So add the cup of cheddar, sharp, definitely, and mozzarella, whole milk. All right. How's that look, guys? Good? Okay. All right, now that's our stuffing. Now let's get to the roulades. You can do a lot of different types of roulades. You can use catfish, do like a stuffed. Put this over here so y'all can see. You can, take some crab cake mix, roll a piece of catfish, wrap it with bacon, bake it off. It's as simple as roulade means rolled. And you'll see it a lot in French cooking. All right. So I got one big breast and a small breast. I'm gonna do it twice for you guys, just so you can see it 2 times. And we wanna start by butterflying the chicken breast, because the less we have to pound it out, the better. And what you wanna do when you butterfly, you wanna put it at the end of your cutting board. And there's a little room for error. You don't have to worry if, one side's thicker. You just kind of fix it when you pound it out. All right, we'll put the Ziploc on top. All right, and when you pound it out, you just kind of want to pound it away from the middle. So you want to spread the chicken breast out. That's going to make too much noise. Do you guys ever hear pounding when y'all eat here in the back? We have chicken mozz on the menu, which is that appetizer, which we pound the chicken breast out. And when Tammy used to work here, she would always come back yelling at me, "Stop pounding!" I was like, "Do you want chicken mozz or not? We got to pound it." It's what we do, we pound. So when you start getting a little bit thinner, you want to go a little lighter, because again, you want to keep that chicken breast together as much as possible. You want to use a natural product chicken breast too. They have some of that chicken that has like solution added to it, and it will break apart completely. And again, it doesn't matter how the roll looks, because once it's cooked, it'll coagulate together and come together and look pretty good. The end pieces might be not as pretty, but that center part will be beautiful. And I'll show you guys that when y'all get to eat it. So a little Creole seasoning. All right. Now the stuffing, you want to line the whole breast with it. And the reason why you want to do that instead of just putting one chunk in the middle is because once it's cooked and sliced, you'll have a roll, a sphere with the chicken. So it'll be chicken and stuffing mixed together instead of just chicken on the outside and stuffing in the middle. So guys, turkey breast, for Thanksgiving, you could do this leg of lamb, you could do it with a duck breast, so many different things. You can roll out a beef tenderloin. All right. Can y'all see? I'm ADD about having things in my hands, but I guess I'm going to have to deal with it. Okay, so we're going to put a piece of bacon down this way. And you can add more bacon if you want. So we'll put the opening on the top for right now, because we want to put it all to the bottom. You just seal the outsides. And these, you don't have to go crazy with it, because once it cooks, it's going to cook all together. And again, it doesn't look beautiful right now, but once it's cooked, it'll be gorgeous. All right, and we want to season the outside. You always want to season everything, guys. All right, are y'all just that smart, or just too shy to ask any questions? So, any questions? Just to spread it out, because it'll kind of dig into that cutting board a little bit. So I want to pick it up and it'll stretch out more, basically. That's my theory. I just do it. But I think it's right. So we want to have the seal at the bottom, the bacon at the bottom, okay? So it'll cook together and hold together. And basically what happens when we cook that, and you want to, I think I'll put on the recipe, you want to have a meat thermometer for this, all right? Because there's chicken rolled all the way to the middle, and you want to make sure the center of this roulade is cooked to 160 degrees.
So how many would that serve?
Probably 2 people for lunch. I'll do it one more time for you guys.
Do you brine the chicken, or is it just?
It's just straight chicken breast. That's the beauty of all that goodness, you know what I mean? And also pounding it out. I mean, it's going to be really, really tender. Another thing to do if you guys like smoking stuff, this would be great for the smoker also. Season it. Is everybody's mouth watering yet?
Oh, yes.
Good. How are the hors d'oeuvres? You have any questions about what we ate for hors d'oeuvres? Good. Awesome. Awesome. The hardest part about the hors d'oeuvres was open up the boxes because we got them from Cisco to bake them off. Yeah, right. Okay.
What's in the chicken salad?
Let's see. We have Creole mustard, aioli. We make our own mayonnaise, aioli. Cranberries, dry cranberries, spiced pecans, sriracha, and we grill the chicken. It gives a nice smoky flavor. And also celery, onions, and bell peppers. And that's about it.
So is there a reason why you cross the bacon?
Just basically to seal it as much as I possibly can. Since I'm only using 2 pieces, I want to try to seal that breast together as much as I can. Basically, so the same way you trust a chicken, the same reason why you trust a chicken. When you tie up a chicken, when you roast it whole, it just keeps it compact and keeps those juices in it as much as it possibly can. So, really just to hold together. All right, guys, that's our chicken roulade. We're gonna go back there and cook it, and I'm gonna wash my hands. All right, guys, what'd y'all think? Awesome. Well, great. I appreciate that, guys. Thank y'all so much for coming. Hope to see you guys next time. And as always, at Gabe Downtown, fat equals flavor.